Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And welcome to Unity, and welcome to all of you that are live streaming. It's so funny to be in here. For those of you who are watching at home, as soon as Jules starts counting, everybody gets dead quiet. It's like, you know this place, it's never dead quiet. So we found Jules is the one that's doing this. So let us stand and remember that we're not singing, but we can hum under our mask. And I have a really great opening song today, Turn the World Around, and I think that's appropriate. So let's stand and Josh, bring in the band.
We come from the fire, living in the fire, go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the fire, living in the fire, go back to the fire, turn the world around. Ba-dum, 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 we come from the water, living in the water, go back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water, go back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water, go back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, living on the mountain, go back to the mountain, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, living on the mountain, go back to the mountain, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, living on the mountain, go back to the mountain, turn the world around. Whoa, sun is a light, sun is a light. Oh, sun is a light. Sun is a light. Do you know who I am? Do I know who you are? See we one another clearly. Do we know who we are? Do you know who I am? Do I know who I am? Do we want to know? Do we know who we are? See we one another clearly. Do we want to be clearly? Do we know who we are? Oh, sun is a light. Sun is a light. Oh, sun is a light. Sun is a light. Water make the river wash the mountain, fire make
Okay, I know when we can sing again, that will be one of your favorite songs. It's just, it was one of the favorites in my center, so I kind of know because it livens everything up. So welcome again for all of you first timers, and you may be out there in live streaming land, but for all that are in here, we know and love you all. So Our vision, a spiritual community of love, peace, and acceptance. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Are we that? Yes,
Yes.
we are. And our mission, creating an inclusive spiritual community through fellowship, service, and community outreach. So that is who we are, and that's what we're about. So now I would like to invite our platform person, Tom Clever, if he will join me and read the daily word, light the Christ candle, and light the flames of faith.
Thank you, Reverend Oberlin. The word for today is world peace. I affirm the unfolding of world peace. Most monumental changes do not take place overnight. The vision for peace that I desire to see in the world can be at odds with the reality I encounter daily. I allow myself to feel sadness and frustration when I'm confronted with news of strife, anger, and disharmony. Even as I acknowledge my feelings, I commit to an open-hearted acceptance of the world just as it is. I continue to affirm all people on the planet are moving in the direction of peace and cooperation. From a place of deep equanimity within myself, I take action toward making these changes I wish to see unfold. As I do, I continue to affirm the dawning of reconciliation, unity, harmony, and love in the world around me. From Psalm 34:14, seek peace and pursue it. I light the Christ candle today as a reminder for us that Christ light is always lit within us, and it is our privilege to express that light into the world.
And as we begin the flames of faith lighting, we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, and all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. And as I ask Tom to light the first candle, we light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path, the Four Noble Truths. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God, to the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And the last candle that we light a candle for all those who are yet unaware of the power and presence of spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are holding for them at this center, and for all religions unnamed in this ceremony. So you may think today that I'm talking about the richest man in Babylon. So some of you have seen books, one of you have already bought one, God love you. But we're not going to talk about that today. The Richest Man in Babylon is a great, great story, and we're going to talk about that next week. But I just want to tell you, if you have any gifts for any young people, for any graduates, anybody that has got a new job and needs to find out how to be the richest man in Babylon, this is a book that after I speak next week, I hope that you will all take and give to gifts to Those of you who still have the energy, and for those of you that have young people in your life, it is phenomenal. I was going to do 2 weeks on it, but I haven't crammed it into one. So that's why we're not doing that. So then I was talking to Leanne, and I said, well, maybe I'll speak about love, because we sure need a lot of love. And then I sat down with that yesterday, and that didn't work either. So the day got very confusing for me, because how do I address what's going on when basically I look out at the world, my world, this little world, and everything's fine. Yet everything isn't fine, and how do I speak about that? How do I speak to it? How do I talk about the current situation in Kenosha? How do I speak about that? And what I was feeling was the anguish of all peoples touching the depth of me and inside of me, and I feel pieces of my heart breaking. And there's this primal cry or scream that wants to come out to all of us. I mean us, and say, you know, what now? What are we doing? How do I put that into a Sunday talk? And when I look around and I see beauty everywhere, and I see people I love, every one of you, and people who love me, for the most part, we're safe. We're safe in our little world. It's almost like we live in this protective bubble. Like when Renee left, I said I put a protective white bubble around your car so that you get there safe. So it's like we have this protective, beautiful, white, big bubble that is protecting us, and we're on the inside of it. And I'm torn between the realities of what's happening each day. And it comes closer and closer to home. And that took about 3 hours just to come to that point yesterday. And then I came across a quote from one of Dr. Jim's blogs, and it opened up an understanding for some clarity for me. And it says, what doesn't mean to be healthy, what doesn't mean to be healthy is about an unhealthy system. What doesn't mean to be healthy in an unhealthy system? So what does that mean? What does it mean to be healthy? And then I got it. What does it mean to be healthy? It means this. It means my understanding that my world is pretty good. I have a job I love. I live in a home that I love. I have food, clothing, make too many clothing. And so yeah, what does it mean to live in a world that's healthy? Because that's what we live in, us right here. But then the system isn't healthy. And that's where the torment was coming in, because I know everything is good in my life. And yet I know out there's a whole system that is not good. And that was when Spirit said, now you can do your Sunday talk, because I knew I had something to speak about. And I think that that's where we sit. We sit, being okay with what's around us, have nothing to complain about. But Dr. Jim wrote this, and it really makes sense. What would your life be like if every choice you made were psychologically and spiritually a healthy choice? Think about that. What would your life be like? Psychologically and spiritually a healthy choice. What would our society be like if that were true for all, or at least the majority of us? That we made wise decisions. So what if we only elected people or made healthy choices about who would lead us, who are themselves likely to make healthy choices? What if we only elected people who made healthy choices about who would lead us, who were themselves likely to make healthy choices? Wow. What if? So, to the degree then that we realize how things could be different, or at least they would be different, you are recognizing how often choices and decisions are not made in healthy ways. Would you agree with me that? I mean, I know I've made some that weren't healthy. So back to the beginning question, what does it mean to be healthy in an unhealthy system? So this morning was interesting. So I always sit at my dining room table, most of you know where that is, and looking out at the river. But when I journal, I take my glasses off because I don't need them for doing close work. So it's always blurry out there. And then I got up and I came back to that and finished what I was doing. But I had new glasses and I hadn't had them on. I keep using the old ones that I can't see out of, don't ask why. But anyhow, I put on the new glasses at the dining room table, and it was like, whoa, crystal clear. Crystal clear, right? And I thought, maybe that's what we need. Maybe what we need is a whole new set of glasses. Maybe what we need to see crystal clear is to take off the rose-colored glasses, take off our little bubble, put a pinprick in it and let it deflate and be a part of all that is happening right now. Maybe we need new glasses. I could even see the chimney sweep waving his thing. It was so clear. By the way, when I moved here, I thought that was a golf club. What are my little chimney sweeps? I'm from New York. So, anyhow, new glasses, crystal clear. How do we get crystal clear? So we're the inheritors of the culture, which many, many unhealthy choices have been made. We are a part of that. And it's everything from wars into internal violence and massive inequality, needless competition. And what I know about us, all of us, we are all to a degree or another wounded. We're wounded by the harshness and cruelty of what's going on around us, and it is hurting us. Yet, for sanity, we tend to go about our lives as if it were all normal, somehow feeling diminished that we are not stronger, some of this due to inevitable growing pains of human development. Are we all normal? Yeah, whatever normal means. But much of what's going on is due to our failure to understand and foster human development in healthy ways. Our souls are wounded. My soul is wounded by all that's going on. And we're tired. How many in here are tired? I'm tired. I had lunch with Annie this week, and I said, Annie, I'm so sick of being tired. I sleep 7 to 9 hours every single night. Nothing wakes me up. And then when I leave the office around 2 or 3, I was saying to Jules, I'm so tired, I got to go home and take a nap. I don't understand, I don't want to be tired. And Annie said to me, we are all tired. We are all tired. And she was telling me about, I guess, Zoom meditation or whatever with Jim and Jan, Carrie, and some of you in here. And that's what they were talking about this week, that we're all so tired from carrying all of this stuff around us. And I realize we've all been carrying a lot around with us. And I dreamt this week that I was letting things go and saying, I don't want to carry that, it's too heavy, and it was a very weird dream. But what we have to realize is this COVID virus is bringing fear and denial and illness and death. And what we do, we listen to, and then we say, who do we believe? Do we believe this? Do we believe this? Do we believe that doctor? Do we believe this doctor? And our government parties are not united for the good of all America, in my personal opinion. We have protests and riots and children shot in schools, people being shot in the streets, racism, which we've ignored. And I thought that slavery ended in the 1960s with all the civil rights and everything, and it's raising its ugly head. It's raising its ugly head. Yeah, my friends, we are tired and we're wounded. And that the wasteland is the territory of wounded people. People living inauthentic lives, broken lives, who have never found the basic energy that they can live, therefore, in this blighted landscape. So, is there good news? Yes, of course. Of course. The good news is that with true empathy, compassion, and authenticity, and the willingness to step up and step into being a much bigger part of the solution, there are so many lights at the end of the tunnel, and each one of us could find one. Each one of us could. So in her book, The Caste, K-A-S-T-E, The Caste, my caste system, Isabel Wilkerson takes us through a different history, which has given me a completely new understanding of what's going on. And she says that what is going on is not about racism, and it's not about prejudice. It's about a caste system. And for those of you who have taken these studies in college, the caste system that started zillions of years ago with India. Did any of you know how bad the caste system is in India? Oh my God, Mike, yes. Unbelievable, unbelievable. I mean, I read Astounded. Just could I have water, please? And in this book, well, first of all, I want to say this. Everyone needs to read this book, and everyone needs to pass it on to younger people. Because when we understand the caste system, and that if you take Germany and you take America and slavery, do you know how similar they are? And that's pretty scary, pretty scary. Now, my goal is certainly not to be a Debbie Downer, but my goal is for me opening up what I am finding is the more that I read, the more that I understand, the more that I'm learning about history, prejudice moves further and further away, and understanding moves in further, because we say, oh my God, this has been going on from time immemorial. We need to change it. We need to change it now. Her book is about the origin of our discontent. And a quote that she opens with from Albert Einstein is this: if the majority knew the root of this evil, the caste system, then the road to its cure would not be long. Think about that. The road would not be long. Because we think that after the cruelties of what would happen, we have to do all that we can to make sure that it doesn't happen again. And I always thought we did that, and then now I question. I don't know. But I find that the more I learn, the more I digest the systemic truth of things, I feel a loss of innocence, which was unintentional ignorance. I don't think ignorance is bliss. So these things were built into our society long before any of us are born. But no one taught us because humanity looked the other way. So remember last week where we were talking about that enlightenment is destructive? So, and I think that's what's going on now, because the more that we're becoming aware and the more obvious things are, there's more destruction going on, trying to clear the way and clear the debris to let something new come up. And there's the hope, and there's the good news. There's the good news. So, look around when you're out there, and you'll see people are broken. And somebody said to me this week, but it's not my fault. It's not my fault. I didn't own slaves. I didn't kill Germans, and I never lived in India. Having a very deep conversation about the book, The Caste. And this is true. It's none of our fault. We weren't there. I don't think anyone in here has a slave. Maybe your spouse, but that's your problem. Is the future deterioration of our world in our hands? Is it? I think so. See, according to our beliefs, what we believe here in unity, thoughts are things and we create the world we live in. Do we agree that thoughts are things?
Yes.
Okay, we create the world we live in because we co-create with God. God doesn't co-create with us. The universal intelligence is there waiting for us to say yes. So when we have an idea and we put that into thought and that thought moves into the universe, and this is what we are affirming, then God steps in with us. We co-create with God. God doesn't co-create with us. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Okay. So let us begin to co-create a new world. How about that? How about that? Do we have the power? Absolutely. Absolutely. But the first thing, we're being forced to release. Do you understand that? It's not that we can just sit complacent anymore. We're being forced to release. We have to. I have to. I had to. We have to. Does that make sense? We have to start letting go of the garbage. That old data in, data out. You know what? We need new computers along with our new glasses. Throw away the hard drive. You know, I read that on Facebook, this little thing that I love. When the power of love overcomes the power of peace, the world will know peace. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's love more. So the good news is healing is possible. See, this caste system exists because we've allowed it to exist. And not just in America, but the whole world. Caste is a disease. And we're not immune to it. It's race consciousness, it's collective consciousness. Caste is a state of mind, and we must change our minds about it. We must. We must. We either heal ourselves by changing our consciousness, dissolving the limiting consciousness which makes us attract unhealthy ideas, conditions, and choices, so that our natural innate inner wisdom and compassion can emerge. Our spiritual masters, for those of you who study from the East, they teach us that what stands between our current circumstances and becoming spiritually awakened or enlightened, if you will, is the need to not grow, but again, the need to release. And let me say something about that. In all my years of ministry, 19 this month, last month actually, it's not hard to get people to rally around you as a minister. It's not hard to really get volunteers if you have something exciting and going. It's not even hard to really, for a special project, to have the funds to come to support it. The hardest thing about ministry is to be able to convince you that you are a great, beautiful, perfect person. That you're enough, that you're worthy. That is the hardest thing about ministry. So to make our world better, we have to work with that, and we have to release that garbage because it's garbage. You look around this room right now, just look at each other. Is there anybody, look around this room. Look, look, look. Is there anybody in here that you think is not worthy?
No.
No, of course not. So why are you thinking it about you? Stop it. Stop it right now. We're worthy of everything. We're worthy. So we seek to co-create with God, to experience the peace of goodness, to detach from the cruel world around us until we confront the systemic injustices. And we will complete and do it again and again and again until these patterns are gone. Our New Thought teaching, it gives us this advantage because our teaching encourages us to remember who we really are, being with the spark of divinity. That's us. Humanity. Humanity is crying out for the release of our authentic potential, the limiting belief of our woundedness that we hold in place. I've been so hurt. So have I. The first time I went to a counselor when I was 40 years old, she said it was amazing that I wasn't in a mental hospital. This teaching can save your life. This teaching saved my life. And it is that powerful. With just a few friends supporting me in the work that I was willing to do. Imagine what we could do for the world. There's power in numbers. Just imagine what we could do for the world. So are we responsible for this caste system? No. But are we responsible how we treat each other? Yes. Yeah, we are. We are responsible for every decision we make. Even if it's not taking back something left in your cart when you went to the grocery store and saying, oh my God, I didn't even put that in. Even the decision to keep that or run back in and pay for it, it has an effect on many different things. We're responsible for not treating people poorly because they have different color skin than we do. We're responsible to learn from history so that these same horrendous mistakes don't keep happening again and again and again. And mostly, we're responsible for our own ignorance and to work within our spiritual journey to become the enlightened beings we are and a loving being. Bottom line is, we're responsible. What now? We're responsible. I'm responsible. So go with me. Go with me to that silent, beautiful place where the world is alive and full of love, full of beauty. And imagine that there is only one race, the race of all people. Imagine colors blending in where there are no lines, no walls. White and brown brown and black and yellow. Facial structures that are different. All blending in a oneness. Imagine. Imagine, if you will, it's a crossing over. It's a crossing over where the light is pulling you towards something new, something so beautiful, something so illumined. But where you are going is not back to the Creator. You are going up and through to create a new world. What is your first step when you step through the light and on the ground of the new world? What is your first step? What is it you're called to do? And know with me, you have brought no baggage to the new world. You've left it behind. So you're free. Feel what that feels like. You are free. And any time during these next few months that the "what can I do" feeling comes across you, just pull up the memory of feeling free and allow that to be your guiding light. We just thank God for this time together, for this morning, this camaraderie, friendship, family, love. And know that we are blessed here, and that we take this blessing out into the world with us. And when you're ready, peaceful, calm, come back to this very space.
As I wake adore. I start the day listening to the beauty of the world reborn. A sweet melody calls to me, flooding my senses with joy. The birds sing in celebration. The wind whispers through the trees. Sometimes I hear raindrops falling, gently recalling a rhapsody. I am so grateful for the music of morning. The light breaks through, washing over all creation with its warmth. Through my window pane, illuminating life on my beloved's face. My heart feels the bliss of gratefulness for all of these blessings. I know the birds sing in celebration. The wind whispers through the trees. Sometimes I hear raindrops falling, gently recalling a rhapsody. I am so grateful for the music of morning. Thank you, Father, Son, for giving us light. Thank you, Mother Moon and the stars, for illuminating the night sky. Thank you, every tree and plant, for giving us air to breathe. Thank you, creatures, great and small, for sharing this earth with us through being our companions. My heart feels the bliss of gratefulness for all of these blessings we know. The birds sing in celebration. The wind whispers through the trees. Sometimes I hear raindrops falling, gently recalling a rhapsody. I am so grateful for the music of morning. I am so grateful for the music of
Pretty, yes? Yeah, pretty. Just to keep us in that space a little bit longer. Now, if you would do the offertory prayer with me. The love of God inspires me to give in a spirit of generosity. I give with love and joy to ensure the growth of this ministry and this Unity Center. And so it is. Thank you, God. And thank you all for, as you come in or leave, dropping off your love offering or your tithe in our love basket. And again, for all of you out there in live streaming land, thank you for all of your gifts that you send in during the week. So, a couple of announcements that are not on the announcement board. I don't know how many of you know or are friends with Nanette Boulabash, but her mom, whom I've been visiting for almost 2 years, did leave us this Friday at 6:30 in the morning. And I was very blessed to spend an hour and a half with her the night before. So I'm glad that I had that time with her as she was preparing to go on to her next lifetime. And I know that she was. We will be doing the memorial service, but not until I get back from New York. So I will let you know more about that later. I also got mail this morning. Thank you from Renee. And it says, to all of my dear friends at Unity, I miss you all so much. And I just wanted to thank each one of you for the delightful going away party and gifts of money. You really touched my heart and sent me off with such a feeling of love and confidence. Just like a 4-year-old getting onto the school bus for the first time. It was nervous but exciting to take the next step into my new future. When I began at Unity, I was broken. I was a broken soul who was put back together piece by everyone in the Unity community. Not only did you put me back together, but you shined me up with the person I was always meant to be. You've done a good job, you all. And I thank you for it. May I be blessed enough to be able to spread my newfound light onto others as I meet. Until we meet again, all my love, Renee Lakuta. So, yeah, we love you, Renee. We do. I would like to let you know that it is official that Jules, starting on September 1, has moved into a new position, and that is an assistant office administrator, better known as my right hand. So congratulations. And we have created a new position called social media communicator, and we have an approved job description for that. And fortunately this morning, because God helps me all the time, I asked Josh if he knew any college kids and blah, blah, blah. He says, no, but my mother's big at Lakeland University. So we gave him 2 job descriptions to take to his mom, and I sent her a note to ask if I could meet with her. So there's step 1 in getting that going. So, okay, so announcements. Ta-da. Thank you, volunteers, Tom Kloiber, Marianne Kloiber, Dave, Polly, Josh, and Jules. Of course, without them, you know that we can't do this job in the morning or during the week. So thank you so much, everybody. Okay, and as I said in my talk, it's not hard to get volunteers. Did you hear me? It is not hard to get volunteers. Okay, so I need a volunteer to address birthday cards monthly and take, well, just birthday cards. Let me tell you what that's about. So Rose Brown has done it for 2 years, which is fair enough, and she's asked not to do it anymore starting in January. And what that means is we give you the mailing list and a bunch of cards like this, and then you go down the list and you find the January birthdays and you put the date where the stamp goes and you address them. And then you give them to me, and then I write the insides of them and get them in the mail. Now you might say, why don't I use labels? Because they're birthday cards. And who wants to get a birthday card from the church with a label? With a signed, blessings and joy, nobody, because that looks like we just slap labels on things, and we don't want to slap labels on things. So you can do them quarterly, and not everybody. Now, if you haven't gotten a birthday card from me, that means your birthday is not on our mailing list, so you need to get it on there. And also, one of the things this year, I'm going to ask you to call the people and get the missing birthdays. So I do need that help. You take the card, you can do it quarterly. Give me January, February, March, and then you give me April, May, June, so on and so forth. Simple? Okay? Simple. All right, so we need a volunteer for that. And then the other thing, I mean, how many more weeks do we have of?
Probably 2 or 3.
Two.
Well, 2 or 3 full.
Yeah, we just need help. Jules needs help. She's just doing basically 3 jobs right now, and it's a bit much. Getting the stuff up from the basement after the last one goes. It's a Sunday thing. Bringing the stuff up, the folders, just asking her how do I do it, and blah, blah, blah. It's only 3 weeks. Somebody could volunteer for 3 weeks to do that. That would be really great, because Jules came in like at 8:30 this morning to do that, and I don't want her doing that. And we worked late all week, and there's a lot to do. You think that we just talk on Monday, but at Sundays, but we don't. We have a lot to do. So please, so we need 2 volunteers. One's for birthday cards and one to help Jules for 3 weeks with the silent auction. Okay, and the new items are obviously up today. There's really some hot deals over there, so please check it out. Okay, Unity World Day of Prayer. If you haven't signed up, please do that. There's a sign up in the back at the love offering table. So you can sign up there for whatever half hour you can come in. And if somebody already has a half hour you want, you can come in too. There's plenty of space, no problem. September calendar is on the hall table. Please help yourself to one. Men's Fellowship, Saturday, September 12th, beginning at 9 a.m. And Saturday the 19th is women, what are you guys? Women Circle of Friends on the 20th. Fall Book Club, that is this book, Creating a World That Works for Everything. This is a recommendation from Unity, by the way. We will be doing some September and October talks, and we will be doing workshops along with the book club. I will do a night class. So far we have 2 people that want a night class. Give me 2 more people, and I definitely will do a night class. There's no charge for this. It'll probably be an hour and a half, no more. No, it will be an hour and a half, no more. And creating a world that works for all. Yeah, I think that's where we need to be going right now. So the Wednesday class is right after prayer circle at noon. Bring a sandwich if you come to prayer circle. It is a perfect time for you to join prayer circle. You come and do prayer circle, you bring your sandwich and you eat and do a little community spread apart, and then we do the book club. And then I will come back at 6 o'clock at night and do an hour and a half for the night class. Come on, support the 2 that want the night class. Sign up, let's go, okay you guys? Because we can't just sit around and be complacent. We gotta do something. And this is first step. Also, by mistake, I bought one with big print way back when. So if anyone needs a big print, don't order a book. You can buy this one. And there's a sign up on the back for the workshop. And if you want us to order a book for you, or if we're gonna do Kindle. Okay. Anything else? Does anybody have anything else? Okay, then let's close us out with I Am in You.
I am in you, you are in me. I am in the truth and the love and the light that will set you free. My faith is a boat on the ocean, sailing a stormy sea. I am in you, you are in me. I am in you, you are in me. I am the truth and the love and the light that will set you free. My love is a star in the heavens, shining for all to see. I am in you, you are in me. Be still and know you are. Be still and know you are. I am in you.
You are in me. I am the truth and the love and the light that will set you free. My song is a breeze from the mountain, healing in harmony. I am in you. You are in me. I am in you. You are in me.
Thank you all for a beautiful Sunday. Thank you all that are on live streaming with us. We love you, we miss you, and we can't wait to see you all coming back. So for now, see you next week.